thought this was so embarrassing. It's even embarrassing to say it here, but this is normal. This is a woman's body. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit about my labor and delivery experience. So let's go ahead and get this video started. My water broke March 21st, 2019. It was around midnight or so. It was like 11:30. I did go to bed. I was 37 weeks, almost 38. I was 37 weeks and 5 days. I did go to bed as usual. I was laying down. She was caking me. I'm gonna insert some videos of that here. So at around 11:30, I had the urge to use the restroom. So I got up and I go. When I use the restroom, I just needed to pee, to urinate. So I go ahead and I do that, and then I just sit there for like 1 minute and I'm like scrolling because I was just like, ugh, I was feeling like blah. So out of nowhere, I just hear a big gush, and it fell in the water because I was sitting on the toilet. And I'm like, what the hell was that? So I get up and I'm just leaking, like just fluid, white fluid coming out, like clear fluid, just coming up. I'm like, oh shit, my water broke. It's time. So I did try to induce my labor. I was drinking pineapple juice, and they say that induces labor. So I was drinking a lot of that like 3 days before. But then I stopped because it was making my stomach hurt. So I stopped taking that. Like I stopped drinking it. But yeah, my water broke 3 days after that. So I don't know if that had something to do with it. But the point is my water broke. And I was like, holy crap, this baby is coming. So I went ahead, I told my daughter's father, I'm like, the baby's coming. And he was like freaking out, and I was freaking out. So I took a shower. I took a quick shower. I got my bags ready, and I was like, it's time to go. We called a cab. We didn't want to take our car just because the hospital doesn't have parking. And we didn't want to risk waiting for parking or anything like that. So once we were in the hospital, they do have to check you to make sure your water broke. So they did like a little test where I had to pee in a little cup, and they put like a little stick in, and it was gonna say if that was my water that actually broke. So I was like, okay, cool. So they checked and my water had broke. I'm gonna insert a video here again of me in the room because my water had broken, and I was so nervous. I looked crazy. I was not ready. I always said I was gonna be that mom that was gonna be with her makeup done, her hair done to have this baby, but it just caught me slipping. I got caught slipping. I looked crazy. I got admitted right after that. I wasn't feeling any contractions. I was pretty normal. And then so they told me, we're gonna wait for you to start contracting, and if you don't, we're gonna have to induce you, but we're gonna give you some time. So I was like, okay. So I was just I went to bed. They had a bunch of IVs on me. I lay down, and you know, you can't really eat. So I decided, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take a little nap. I took a little nap. Keep in mind, at this point it's around 2 a.m. and so it's around 2 a.m. and I take my nap till around 7, and they come in and they're like, what's going on? Are you contracting? And from they, I mean the nurses. And I was like, no, I feel like normal, whatever. So she was like, okay, we're gonna have to induce you. So I'm like, no, because I heard when you get induced, your contractions hurt more than normal contractions. So I was petrified. I was like, oh my God. So she told me, you know, they start off low and then they increase the dosage. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, fine, you know, I have to do this. This baby has to come out one way or another, right? One way or another, right? So I'm like, okay. So she starts with the Pitocin. I'm like, la la la, doesn't hurt too bad, la la la. She increases it. I feel pain, but it's not that bad. She increases it again. This time I'm like, okay, I feel pain and it hurts. So so at this point I asked for the epidural. I'm like literally hunched over, like, because I'm like in so much pain at this point. So they bring the anesthesiologist, in, and they explained a bunch of things to me. I wasn't even paying attention. I was so out of it because I was in so much pain. And then they gave me my epidural. It was like a big needle, but I really don't care for that. That doesn't bother me. I don't mind like shots or anything like that. So to me, I was just like, give me my shot so I can relax, so I can chill. In about 2 seconds, it worked, and I was like, thank you, God. So I was chilling at that point. I had visitors coming, my mom, my grandma. People were coming to see me and pray for me and like make sure, you know, that I was good, bringing me water and all that. So I was pretty happy. What was going on during that time was that I was throwing up. I was extremely nauseous, and my nurse said that the reason why I was nauseous could be because my cervix was opening, so I was dilating. Keep in mind, I don't think I mentioned this, I was like 3 or 4 centimeters dilated this entire time. So the doctor came in and she told us, the baby's probably not going to be born until tomorrow, so you guys can chill or whatever. And I'm like, okay. So at this point, it's around 2:30, and my daughter's father's there, and so is my little sister. She just came in. So I start feeling pain again. So I call my nurse and I'm like, hey, you know, I'm feeling some discomfort. She's like, oh, I'm gonna call the anesthesiologist and see what we can do. Maybe we can give you more epidural. And I'm like, okay, great. Now, please. Because I was in so much pain. I'm like, please. I don't want to feel the pain again. Like, I don't want it to get as bad as it was. Like, please do this immediately. So she left and I'm with my sister, but the pain just kept getting so bad. And I was just thinking, I'm like, shit, my little sister, she's 7 years younger than me. She's about to watch me have this baby because this baby's coming out. Because I was in so much pain, I already knew that the baby wanted to come out because I felt it. So at this point, I want to say, like, I'm here in pain. I'm like so much pain. I was just like, one tear was coming out because I have a pretty high pain tolerance. I'm not just gonna like ball out, but it was bad. And a bunch of nurses run in and the doctor runs in and she checks me. She's like, you're 10 centimeters dilated. You're having this baby now. And I was like, whoa, I thought it was gonna happen tomorrow. But you know, I felt it. My body was telling me, but until she told me that I was ready, I was like, oh, it's really, really happening. So that's why I say you should trust your body. Your body is gonna tell you what's going on. So I really am a firm believer in trusting your body. So after that, at that point, I was just so out of it and I was in so much pain. I was just thinking really about my little sister, how she had to watch that and I might traumatize her for life. And I was like, damn, she's here and she's not gonna go, because I wasn't gonna tell her to go, but I'm like, damn, she really wants to watch. She was like, I'm trying to watch this, like, I want to know. I was like, oh my God. So at that point, they teach me how to do the practice pushes. So I'm like, okay. So I'm ready and I'm like, I lift my legs and it's like this whole thing, and guess what happens to me? So I'm pushing and a fart comes out. This was so embarrassing. It's even embarrassing to say it here, but this is normal. This is a woman's body and this is life. So a little fart came out. I was like, pew, and I was like, oh my God. And the nurse was like, don't worry, girl. Worse things have happened in the room. And I'm like, okay. So I did about 2 to 3 practice pushes and it was time for the real thing. I want to say I pushed for about 20 minutes and my daughter came out. The thing with pushing, I felt like my body was telling me to push. Every time I had a contraction, what made me feel better was trying to push her out. And when the doctor wasn't ready, there was a point that the doctor wasn't ready in the beginning and she was like, hold on, don't push yet, but my body wanted to push. So I was like, wow, it's crazy how your body really like tells you like, we're getting this baby out. So after that, the baby came out and I had to push out my placenta, and I was so happy. You stop feeling pain immediately after the baby's out. I really recovered pretty well. I'm gonna include a picture here of the day after I had the baby, and I felt totally fine. I did have some soreness down there for a couple of days, but after that I was pretty much normal. And that's pretty much easy. It was amazing, and I'm thankful. I feel very blessed that I was able to go through that, to become a mother, because that's the best thing that probably has ever happened to me, and I'm very, very thankful. Alright, you guys, so basically that sums up my labor and delivery experience. I hope you guys enjoyed. Any new expecting mothers, I wish you guys the best of luck, and till next time.